Yes, we are live here on Joy Prime. This is Sports Zone with me, Muftaro Nabila Abla. You just saw the gentleman dropping his phone. That is Peter Achitamakulo. He's been smiling all evening. I'm wondering what actually happened today. I don't know. But I'm excited about the fact that he's been smiling, because if he's smiling, you will hear Brofo this evening. That one day, I can guarantee you that. Yes. Achu, how are you?
Yeah, I'm fine by the grace of God.
Welcome.
Yeah, thank you.
But who got you smiling like that?
God, I'm alive. I have life. That means there are opportunities for us to correct the wrongs of yesterday. And
you know one thing. One thing I observed this evening was that when I was coming, Sammy, the sound man, he was speaking to a lady via video call. He was so excited. The joy. I was like, wow, the impact of women. And guess what? I meet Atu. Atu was on the same thing. I'm like,
I was on a call. I was not on a video call. You guessed that it was
you were not on a video call.
Yeah.
But you were on a call.
Yes.
Hey, Charlie. Hey, guys,
I was on a call and I was smiling. What is that? What is wrong with it?
Hey. No, Pamela, what these girls did to Sam.
This is what you want to do with Pamela.
No, hang on.
But you can't. Because your communication skills are so bad and the two of you are always fighting, when you see someone talking on the phone, you immediately conclude it is what you wish you had with Pamela.
So which girl were you talking to?
I was speaking to a friend. Her name is Sylvia.
Her name is Sylvia.
Yes.
Sylvia, what you did to Achu this evening, do it every single day. Every day. Because the joy you brought today, I haven't seen that from Achu in a long time. Hey, Sylvia, you've got a very nice magic wand. Carry one please. Cut this place. We could take Sylvia. She should know the job she's
watching
for
the
us.
show, so.
She's watching?
Yes.
Hey, Sylvia, I'm like,
all my friends watch the show, so.
But Jerry, what's up? Everything cool?
Yeah, we're good. We're good. Chaligana is a very funny place, though.
What's happened?
I was just going through some of the stories I did in February, yeah, and the conversations we had about the sports fund and what government was going to do about it, and now reflecting on the options available to them and the decisions that they have taken. I just think our politicians love public backlash. It's crazy because there was actually a pathway for you to do a job, avoid public outrage, make the people happy, give them what they want, and get some value for yourself. But they seem to love doing things the hard way. And I'm sure we'll have that conversation about the sports levy that is coming. And ask Ghanaians if they are interested in paying any levy to the government for...
But the students are already paying in the school. Then they want to come and levy us to pay sports levy.
For the purpose of the sports...
Because we say create a sports fund, a dedicated source of funding for sports. You want to bring it to us so that fine. They should find a way around it. But let's talk some Black Stars.
Yeah.
Second training session, just some few minutes ago, they're gearing up for that game against Central African Republic. If you were in the Black Stars camp, what sort of conversations would you be having with the group?
Let's finish on a high note. I have said for the longest time that no Black Stars coach since 2022 would have, in fact, in our time, no Black Stars coach would ever have cause to worry about player quality. And if you look at everything that precedes the international week, you just have to sit back and smile as a coach and be happy with the options that you've got. In the past, if we have had concerns, it has been about injuries that players have had and the fact that some of them may not be available. But I think it has been a while since we went into any major competition or any important game
with concerns about quality.
No, with concerns about injuries.
Yeah, that's
I think the last
clearly
one...
Dr. Pambo and his team are doing something.
Yeah, and we've also been very fortunate because when players are at the club level, I think you have to go back to AFCON 2021.
Yeah.
The Mohamed Kudus situation. But apart from that, almost every tournament, we have all our important players available there. So the Black Stars coach will not have any problems, should not have any concerns about. What he would have is the problem of a good headache in terms of having too many quality options. That gives you flexibility, tactical flexibility to play around and see what tactical scenarios will best fit which combination of players. And so for each game state, there are options that you can work with. The good news is that now we're having Alex Jiku back in camp. And so even in defense, you have a bit more leadership, you have a bit more maturity to the team than we last had. The midfield options are looking good. Kwesi Sibo kicked on from what he did for us against Mali. Yeah. And so look, I think the most important thing is for the coach to find the right tactical combinations, right? The right combinations in terms of personnel and the right tactical context to introduce those players to go out there and then excel. Because you have players who are on form, you have players who are scoring well. Semenyo scored a brace, Kudus, Iñaki Williams before. 2 weeks ago, Joseph Pencil made history, became only the third player to have recorded a first-half hat-trick and all of that. So, look, there is so much...
In fact, just those 2 weeks ago, Kamado and Sulemana scored back-to-back.
Even for the new players who...
Fatah Isaku also scored.
Who have been called into the team. And a word on Fatah Isaku, yeah? I'm so happy for him. Every time I watch him...
Don't go to the back stories.
No. I'm so happy for him because when it comes to players who have sustained knee injuries, ACL, and other forms of long-term injuries, the fear is that it will change your game when you come back. The injuries that changed Michael Essie's game were mostly knee injuries. Yeah. And for wingers especially, what it takes from you is something that you will not be able to replace or adjust your game to accommodate what it takes away from you. Usually, for players like Fatah Isaku who rely on explosiveness, their dribbling ability, those are two things that 9 out of 10 times you are likely to lose. When you lose that explosiveness, it takes away your confidence as well because then you know that you begin to think that even though you can still dribble as well as before, you will not back yourself to outrun your opponent. So you know that even though you can dribble, they will still catch you.
That's true.
If you turn on the afterburners because, Charlie, there's no longer that capacity to sprint. You no longer have that burst of pace that allows you to get ahead of your defender. And so you can still dribble, but you will only do it when you want to do it to win a foul. You may not even have that power in your left foot or in your right foot again as you used to have. And so I was very worried for Abdul Fatah Isaku when he returned from injury. But fortunately for us, he still has got that explosiveness. 3 weeks ago, that goal that he scored, right, picked up the ball from his own half, dribbled past his marker, ran the full length of the opponent's half, went to score. Yeah. And then in that goal, he showed that he still had the explosiveness, he had the dribbling ability, his confidence was unshaken, and he had the presence of mind and the intelligence to know when to use one of the many tools that he had been blessed with, whether to go for power or to bend it around the goalkeeper or around the defender.
There was a ball he hit from the center line.
In this one?
Yes.
In this one, it came off the crossbar, and he did not score. So, look, I'm very happy that he doesn't seem to have lost any of the tools that we feared that the anterior cruciate ligaments would have taken away from him. Yeah. The same goes for the right back, Seydou Alidu as well. There is nothing from the clips I've watched that suggests that he's coming off at
he was eager.
I like it for him.
Bande Pep Guardiola has joined us. Why is he looking so serious like that?
He is sad because this weekend Barcelona collects.
What 4-1.
Collects.
In fact, I was doing Sports Arena, and And a certain Barcelona fan texted me that, oh, we get match at 4:30. I said, oh, the match has ended. Barcelona lost 4-1. He said, eh? Karim, were you affected by that defeat?
I've grown beyond letting such results. I'll never let such results affect.
He's lying.
I'm serious.
We were watching the Ballon d'Or ceremony together. Ask Benaya.
Yeah.
When he's laughing. When Dembele was
Ask Benaya. When I'm standing here, ask
Karim
me.
sank into his seat and could not speak for about 10 minutes.
Really?
That is how attached he is to the things he loves.
That's not true. See, that time has passed.
Are you attached to Barcelona?
That was just last week, man.
No, I'm saying that time of Barcelona losing and me, it affected me, it has passed. I've seen some before.
So right now,
You see-
Lamar affects you more than Barcelona.
No. What I'm saying is that there was a time that defeat to Liverpool and the Roma one, they've taken out those kind of
this one, Peter Drury was talking about how Manolas, the Greek god in Rome, that one.
Yes.
Just 2018. That was just 2018.
The Romantada.
Yeah, that,
consecutive. It's consecutive. 2018,
2019 year was consecutive.
that it pay you.
Yes, but right now, yeah.
And no, I get it. Me, I've said that. 2008 AFCON. That semi-final defeat to Comoros. When in Kong, went and scored. Only late dive like this, catch the ball. That's a modern penalty miss 2010. Where me, I know die. I know good. Football no fit kill me again. Football cannot kill me again. Hey, I remember that 2008. I know chop. We had just come back from the dining hall. And again, what's happening? Go put your food down. Charlie, we don't eat the food.
For me, I was able to eat.
Charlie.
I remember that day because I was eating jollof that time. I was able to eat, but
No,
in the evening, I cried small.
So ours, in secondary school, they will give you the rice and they'll put soup on it, like Ghana soup.
Yeah.
And the soup will go and sink.
At the base of
At
it,
the base,
because
at the
it is
base,
mostly
at the
water.
Mostly water. Karim.
Yes.
Awesome. What do you have for us tonight?
A lot, but we have to start from the Black Star squad. Okay. I'm just going to look at a few things there.
Okay.
So this is a squad. The last time he named the squad, he named 24 players, and this time to 24. Yeah. So if you are looking at consistency, in the past 3-4 windows, he has been so consistent in terms of the number of players he maintains in the squad. And if you are looking at the last one, to this one, he maintained 18 players from the old September squad to this October squad. Okay. So if you are looking at the players that were in that squad and are not in this one, it's like Iñaki Williams, we can still see him here, but he has been replaced now by Thomas Asante. So I'm just looking at players that were in that squad and not in this one. So we have first Derek Con, who has not still been through nationality switch issues. Then Tariq Lamptey, we've seen that he has suffered an ACL. Then Ibrahim Osman hasn't been the same since that international window. He hasn't started a game since then. So then we have Ibrahim Sulemana. Since the last game he played was against Chad, and he has moved on loan from Atalanta to Bologna, and he hasn't played the games since then. Then Salis Abdul Samed, the same thing. After the international break, he hasn't played so much for Nice, so he's not in the squad as well. Then we have Jerry Afriye. The last time he was invited, I actually think that time, that call-up in September was not, to me, it wasn't deserved. If he was going to be called up, I think this was the best time. Because since going back, he has scored twice for his club, Louviers, that is in the Belgian top flight. And before the September one, he hasn't scored a goal for his club. But this, after the international break, he scored twice.
So he was called up when he wasn't scoring.
Yes.
Now he's not called up when he's scoring.
Yes. So that's the small thing there. Then Iñaki Williams, actually, he also pulled up because of an injury. And the player that replaced him is Brandon Thomas Asante. This is him, Brandon Thomas Asante. This weekend, actually, he scored a brace for Coventry City. Then I'm just going to go through the new players that are in the squad. Then Ali Seidu returned from that ACL injury and now in the squad. Kojo Pepro-Opon also in good form for Nice. Then Ebenezer Annan, who I rate as my best left back for Ghanaian players this season. If I'm going to start a left back and I had the will to call on one to start, it's going to be Ebenezer Annan, not Gideon Mensah. Then Prince Owusu, the Midiama boy, Abdul Fattah Issahaku also returning. Then Thomas Asante. So those are the new names. So I'm just going to look at Thomas Asante. Him getting back into the squad, I think it's more than deserved. Because even from the international, the September 1, if you ask me, he's one of the players that deserve to be, if you are looking at strikers for Ghana or attackers, if you are mentioning one, his name is supposed to be 2. This is why this season he has played 11 games. That is the most of all the attackers, including some that have also played in the Champions League and things. They've also played 11 and 12. Then he has played a lot actually. That's what I mean basically. And he has scored 5 goals. This 5 ranks only behind
11 games. It means like he's been involved in 8 goals.
Yes.
Wow.
If you are looking at the goals, this 5 only ranks behind Semenyo in the whole squad that was invited, and he wasn't part of the original squad. And we know how we are suffering for goals in this team. So if he's scoring 5 goals and only one player has more goals than him and he's an afterthought, I don't think he should be an afterthought. He should be part of the squad originally. So, and 3 assists as well. Only one player also has more assists than Brandon Thomas Asante this season for Black Stars. So only Kudus has 4, and that is Semenyo also has 3. So all of them having 3. Then let's look at Semenyo. You just spoke about how good he has been throughout this season, and I'm just going to start from this one before. This is his performance this season in the Premier League. He has played 7 games, scored 6 goals. Only Erling Haaland in the Premier League has more goals than him, that is 9. And if you are looking at assists as well, only Mohamed Kudus and Jack Grealish have more goals than Semenyo. And look at total assists than Semenyo. Then look at total shots he has attempted this season in the Premier League, 17. Only one player, that is Haaland, has more shots than him. And if you're looking at conversion rate, he's the player with the best conversion rate this season in the Premier League. He has a 35% shot conversion rate in the Premier League from 17 shots. And only 9 of those shots are on target. And if 9 shots are on target and he's converting 6 of them, it means that at the end of the season, if he maintains this rate, he can actually score 10 goals more, because he's having like, he needs 3 games to score a goal averagely in his Premier League career. Yeah. So let's look at this. The brace he has scored this weekend has taken him to some level when it comes to Ghanaian players in the Premier League, the highest scoring Ghanaian players in Premier League history. So Jordan Ayew is still on top, but the 2 goals Semenyo has scored has taken him to 2nd in the list of Ghanaian highest scorers in the Premier League history. He needs 3 games to score 1 goal in the Premier League. And Jordan Ayew, from 88 games, the game he played for Bournemouth over the weekend against Fulham and scored 2 goals. It was his 88th in the Premier League in about 4 seasons there. Then he needs, I said, 3 games to score 1 goal. And if you're looking at Jordan Ayew, he is the highest scorer, scoring Ghanaian in the Premier League, and he has 42 goals. He did so in 305 games. And if Jordan Ayew is to score 1 goal in the Premier League in that period, it means that he needs more than 7 games. And Semenyo has a better rate. Then one man that even has a better one is Tony Yeboah. He played 47 games in the Premier League in just like 2.5 seasons there for Leeds United. And he needs like 1.9 games, that is averagely 2 games to score 1 goal in the Premier League. Then Jeffrey Schlupp, the only player to be in the top 5 highest scoring players in the Premier League to have won the title with Leicester in 2019. Then just below 2016. Just below Schlupp is Andre Ayew. He also has 21 in about.
Why is he below?
Yes, it's
Capito.
Yes, he's
just for 21.
So Capito never plays come top. He did
5th, so he's top.
Okay.
So 21 goals in 102 appearances in the Premier League. Then let's look at Kudus briefly as well. Then Kudus this season in the Premier League, successful dribbles, 30. That is like 11 more than any other player in the Premier League. And it means that he is going at a rate of 4.40 dribbles per game. the 7 games he has played this season, it means that every game he's averaging 4 dribbles in the Premier League, and that is 11 dribbles more than any other player. And let's look at assists. For this season, only Jack Grealish has the same 4, and he's joined top of the assist chart. Then let's look at duels won, 57. No player is coming close to Kudus when it comes to assists. Duels won, we know how strong he is when he's on the ball. It's so difficult for you to take the ball off him. And in terms of goals and assists, he has 5. That's ranking him 4th, 5th in terms of the goals and assists combination as well. So we are seeing some dominance and sort of performances from Ghanaian players in the Premier League in the early stages of this season that maybe I would say we've not seen before in the Premier League. So let me this is my team of the week. I'm not going to waste a lot of time here. So I'm just going to mention Rufai Mohammed, a centre-back. Those are new names in the team. Then he plays for Värnamo, and they won 3-2 against AIK. That is in the Swedish league, and he scored for them in that game. Then Ronald Donko, he plays for New York Red Bulls, and they lost 1-0 to FC Cincinnati, but he was impressive in that game for them. Then Thomas Asante as my number 9. So that is the Michael Agbekono as well, formerly of Dreams FC. Yeah, he plays for Slavin now, and he won 2-1 against Obisek.
That guy is coming.
Yes.
That boy. On the ball.
Basically, that is it. I'm not going to talk a lot about the team of the week.
Okay, Karim, thank you so much. We are extremely grateful. Prediction for Ghana versus Central African Republic.
That game, if you don't win 4-0, Otado he has to resign. He shouldn't wait for anybody to sack him. Wait, you are seeing this team, Central African Republic. They don't even have Rufai Mohammed, who is not even in consideration for
a call-up
to the national team. And you have Ali Duseidu. You have all sorts of players. Juku is not here, but he's part of the team. You know how experienced he is and how good he is. Salisu.
But Karim, you are very much aware of the Black Stars. They can blow hot and cold at any time. So you can't predict the kind of performance that we will witness on Wednesday.
Can I ask you a question?
Please do.
What is the difference between 2010 Black Stars and 2025 Black Stars?
The 2010 Black Stars, Ghana had Anthony Annan at the heart of the midfield.
Which club was he playing for?
He had gone to
Rosenborg.
Yes.
Rosenborg. Where does Thomas Partey play?
Villarreal.
Where was he from last season?
Arsenal.
Where does MJC Kalivirenchi? What is the difference between Rosenborg and Nordirland?
Not much.
No.
I'm just saying that the difference is...
What you're trying to suggest is that the current crop of players find themselves in certain clubs that are of a certain prestige more than what Ghanaians witnessed or had
in 2010.
In 2010.
Yes.
However, if you take that 2010 crop of players, a chunk of these boys would not be able to break through. For instance...
I don't think that comparison works.
No, it's not. No, I'm just going to make a point.
Yes.
The current crop of goalkeepers that we have, do you think Benjamin Asare is better than Ole Lekinson?
It's a difficult comparison to make. I am not.
Okay.
I can't.
Hans Sapper on left side.
Ali Duseidu.
I'm telling you, left side.
Left side. Okay. We have Ebenezer Annan.
You think Ebenezer Annan matches up to Hans Sapper?
Which club was he playing for?
Playing for Bayer Leverkusen, Champions League semi-final.
That is like an exception.
So
that is an exception.
So, but in John Mensah at the heart of the defense.
John Mensah and Salisu. What I'm saying is that
John Mensah was playing for Lyon in the Champions League.
The quality was good as well. What I'm just trying to say is that John Mensah.
About the prestige of their club.
I want to understand what he wants to say.
What I'm saying is that it's not about the quality. That time there was quality. Now the quality in some positions may not be as good as that time, but the difference is just the money, man. That is all.
So you're saying we have enough?
Yes.
Okay.
There's not so much difference between what we had then and what we have now. The difference.
That one, the results would disagree. But I take the point when he says we have enough to win.
Look,
that one is going down.
If you want the same like of players in the same position, look at Salisu. Salisu here, Joropoku can start from there. So if you put Salisu and Joropoku, like there shouldn't be so much difference in quality when it comes
to
Salisu.
And that's why I made the point earlier, that all across the squad that he has invited, there's a reason people don't get so
upset
there are not so
many questions.
There are not many questions because, look, you can take every tactical...
Unlike those days, they will call up players. Why is this player?
Look, think of any tactical context you have in mind, any formation that you have in mind.
The players...
You will find different sets of players within the squad who are good enough to execute it and give you a good performance and results across the 2 games that we're going to play. Even for the central defense, where there may be the temptation to experiment, even for the fullback areas, holding midfield. Now we are in a situation where you have the luxury of taking away Ibrahim Husseini, Ibrahim Osman. No one blinks because someone who was handed his debut call-up within 48 hours walked into the team and showed that he is good enough. Further up the pitch, the options, they say. And you see, the thing about this window, Muftau, the thing about this window is that our boys are not only doing well, they are having Premier League leading numbers and performances.
Like, Kari cannot understand.
Look, that is you. So as we speak now, Semenyo is actually the second best performing forward in the Premier League. If you take away Erling Haaland, he's the best. In terms of creators in the Premier League, there's no one outperforming Mohamed Kudus. So when you look at whatever combinations that you want to do here, maybe Kudus starts, Semenyo as a centre forward, Semenyo left wing, Semenyo right wing, Kudus in behind the striker. Whatever combinations that you are thinking about, you should be able to get enough. We're not asking for 5-0 or 8-0. You should be able to get enough to give you a good performance and a win.
And if they don't do, when you ask, what do they say? They have only 2 training sessions. In 2010, how many were they training? Were they in some mini camp for 1 month or something? Forget those things.
Karim says, win or sack yourself.
Yes.
Win 4-0 or sack yourself.
We're taking a quick break. When we come back, we've got some more to talk about here on Sports Zone. Thank you very much. Stay with us. Charlie, you see, there's other times when you're doing something that you are so cautious to the extent that it's very palpable.
You end up making a mistake.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Sports Zone once again. I am Midfielder I've been doing this with Victor Achutamaklo. And earlier, we had Karim Benin join us for Ghanaian players abroad. Sichofer Philip actually will join us via Zoom pretty soon. But actually, you're just telling me about a sports levy about to be introduced before Parliament, and you and I will pay for how? Tell me more.
So it has to do with the sports fund.
Okay.
I think in October 2020, so it's actually 5 years. Yeah. President Mahama, then former presidents and the leader of the opposition said they were going to introduce a sports development fund.
Okay.
Now, when they won the elections, Kofi Adams, the sports and recreation minister, said this is something that they wanted to actionalize. In fact, they repeated that campaign promise in the run-up to the December elections last year.
Yeah.
So what they have done in the first 8 months in office is to have broader stakeholder engagement, speak to the various federations and get a sense of how much it will cost for them to run sport effectively in the country, both in terms of the capital projects that they run and which aspects of its government has got to fund, and the government's own agenda for sports development. So having aggregated those views and then gotten a sense of what it will take, they then moved it to the next level of putting together a document as far as the revenue sources for the sports fund itself, now bearing in mind how much they need annually. So they put together that bill, took it to cabinets, I think, on about 4 occasions. It was bounced a couple of times, But finally, in mid-September, Cabinet gave approval for the bill or for the documents on the sports fund, the Sports Development Fund, as they call it, to go to Parliament.
Okay.
But we are now told that the documents that Cabinet approved also has a sports levy as the primary source of revenue for the Sports Development Fund, which is interesting because when we interviewed Kofi Adams in February, when he was first given the job as sports minister on Sports Link on Joy FM, he indicated that they were looking at multiple revenue sources from existing levies. That was in February. There was no concrete mention of the introduction of a new independent levy. He said they would look at the existing levies and other ideas out of those. Now, at that time, the conversation also bordered on the possibility of converting or repurposing the scrapped betting tax. We have two betting tax or two levies on betting at the moment, or at the time when the NDC took power. The one that is placed on your winnings, and then the one that the betting companies pay to the government itself. The government did not touch the one that the betting companies paid to it, but they scrapped what citizens were paying on their winnings, and whenever they... So they took away that. But the arguments that I put forward, even before the elections was, and this was to both parties, was that instead of scrapping the betting tax, the damage has been done already. Ghanaians have complained about it, and I've moved to the point
extensively,
where...
we had spoken about the fact that it made absolutely no sense for them to take out an area that many people actually believe that it could be the source of revenue for the sports fund. Exactly. Now you've taken it off, you're going to introduce
a new levy. So the arguments I made at that time was that just repurpose it and make it the primary source of the sports fund, because it is revenue that is generated directly from a sports-related event. So it is important, or it makes sense that it goes into funding sports-related activities in the country, but they thought otherwise. So now how do you turn around and come and tell Ghanaians that? And I'm watching how they are going to present this.
Finally, I've had a wine. Finally, I'm waiting for wine. Finally.
So you went on a break just for wine?
I was waiting for wine. Finally, I've had it. I landed. Welcome back to Sports Zone here. We've been talking about Black Stars. We've been talking about sports levy. And now we are taking you to Europe. Let's go and bring you highlights of matches that happened in the English Premier League. From there, we'll go to La Liga, then we'll do C.A.R. If time permits us. But let me just add that Sichofe Philip Ashim has joined us. The handsome man, the handsome boy has joined us. Handsome man, how are you? Sicho, please unmute for us. What is Sammy? Sammy, I know you have an agenda against me. Put the mic on. I want to hear Sicho. The two of you, what are you doing at the control room there? Sammy and then Pamela.
You are just insecure.
Oh, Pamela, please, play the highlights for me. I'll come back to Sicho, please. We are back from the break. This is Sports Zone, and you've seen highlights of how Manchester United won 2-0 against Sunderland. Arsenal also secured victory against West Ham United. Chelsea won 2-1 against Liverpool. Achu, let me start with you. Pick one out of the lot and talk to me. I know you are a Man United fan. You might have been so excited about the fact that Man United won against Sunderland.
Not really. For me, it's not a performance that moves the needle or changes my position.
Moves the what?
Or changes my position.
I told you Sylvia will cause issues this evening. No wonder.
On Ruben Amorim. I still think he gets fired by the end of the month. I think if you look at the performance that we saw there was nothing fundamental about it that you could say is transformative, from the Man United that we've been used to. Look, the football itself, for me, has not really improved to over 90 minutes, or the improvements or whatever it is that you saw in 90 minutes is not enough to change my mind on Ruben Amorim. He's had a terrible tenure. The results have been poor, the performances itself, but fundamentally, the fact that he has not been able to coach this team out of its bad habits, he has not been able to set up the team in a way that allows the team's best players to thrive, is symptomatic of poor coaching. Look, even with this idea that that they are not finishing off chances, it is again a function of poor coaching, because if your best chances keep falling to your worst finishes, there is something wrong with the strategy. Because coaching, in its simplest terms, is setting up your team to play in a way that magnifies the attributes of your best players, allows them to go out there and express themselves and be able to influence the game. You cannot have Brian Mbeumo, who scored 20 Premier League goals last year, Matheus Cunha, 15, Bruno Fernandes, the team's best player in the year before, all on the pitch. And then the team's best chances keep falling to Dogu. You cannot set up your team and say that for whatever reason, it makes sense to play the team's best player, Bruno Fernandes, in a position where he's unable to influence games. When you consider the fact that Man United almost every time go into games and they are so predictable. Like these days, it is, if you go onto any of the betting sites and you bet that before the game will end, Ruben Amorim is going to substitute one of the centre backs, you will win. Because in the 46 games or so that he has superintended as Man United boss, on 43 occasions, he has taken off his centre back. That is the one tweak that he knows. But in terms of actual in-game management, adjustment to respond to trends that are emerging in games, he's not capable of it. And look, the standard in the Premier League is so high that the least thing you can afford is to be predictable, is to be unresponsive to emerging trends, to what your opponents are going to do. So for me, I have said it, that he will be fired at the end of October. And
why do you want someone's father to lose his job?
That's someone's father, no. He's not bringing us happiness.
But that someone's father is paid to make decisions.
Yeah.
Decisions that will end up the benefit
of the outcome of those decisions.
Yes. Which is quite critical.
Yeah.
But he makes those decisions with a conviction that they will be in the best interest of the club.
No, you see, he's not paid for the effort he puts in. He's not paid for the fact that he means well. He's paid because he don't laugh. He's paid because
I shouldn't laugh.
Don't laugh. He's paid because he offers a better guarantee on return on investments. That's the difference between the coaches who are paid £50,000 a week and those who earn north of 100,000. Because those who earn north of 100,000 guarantee you good football, improvements on the players that you have, and so adding value to your assets, and then they give you better results. That is the difference between, so those who coach at relegation-threatened clubs, they can also get you results, but they will play the sort of football Stoke City used to play. That's why I don't rate Arteta. That's my pet peeve. So there is
Bolton.
See, there is a reason coaches or managers of football clubs would be more inclined to giving a £500 million transfer kitty to a manager like Arteta, like Pep Guardiola, like Jurgen Klopp. Forgive me for adding Arteta to that list. But those coaches have shown over time that their methods work. They add value to players. They play good football. They get results. They win titles. So when you come to Manchester United...
Arteta.
Yes. And that's why I said forgive me for adding Arteta to that list. So when you come to Manchester United, and after a year, the football is still as bad as it is, your team is still as easy to break through, to get results against, you are not getting results. You are not improving players. Why do you deserve to stay in the job? So there were a lot of my friends on social media who said you came to write that he will be fired at the end of October. When he won, he didn't say anything. But it's not the end of October yet.
So you actually believe?
I genuinely believe that by the end of October, Manchester United will be in the position to sack the manager. See, the reports that they have contemplated but want to give him until the end of the season, those reports are not false. However, my belief is that the nature of the results coming, I bet you will say.
You see, I was saying some few days
and if you look at each of
a few days ago that at you, there's one thing about boss when it comes to their decisions. They'll come and back you.
That's what I was coming to say.
They'll fire you.
But we had the same thing around Eric Ten Hag.
Yes. Ten Hag, Roberto Di Matteo, Andres Villas-Boas. They all had similar stories.
Forget about Manchester United. Let's talk about Liverpool.
David Moyes.
Yeah.
He had a similar thing.
Let's talk about Liverpool.
In the end, he was fired. Talk to me about Liverpool-Chelsea. Despite all the injury situation that Chelsea encountered, in fact, during that game, their two centre halves were taken off duty injuries.
Look, this is the most impressive body of work, yeah, of Maresca since he got the Chelsea job.
Really?
Because the incidents preceding the game tested his capacity to squeeze water out of stone. The incidents during the game tested him even more. Just look at your screens and look at the sheer number of players who missed out of this one.
Trevor, Charlie.
So, irrespective of all the adjustments that he had to make before the game, when the game started, he still was stretched and forced to make more. And still, at no point in the game did it look like Chelsea were in danger of losing the game. And that's a massive indictment on Arne Slot and Liverpool. And here's the thing. No one can say they were surprised by the way Liverpool played. Liverpool have not been playing well since the season started. They have struggled to get games over the line. They have struggled to win games. Look, when they were scoring those late games, it was not by design. I keep telling people, Liverpool were not winning games late in games because that is how they wanted to. No. Slot showed us his ideal way of coaching in his first season, which was to win games without much incidents, to control games. He will be happy to take a 1-0, 2-0, 2-1 without much incidents and win games. But the Liverpool problem now is that they have made so many additions to the team, and the manager is forced to make so many tweaks without allowing the team to get used to each tweak. So, if you look at the back line, the team has lost its starting fullbacks. Trent has moved on to Real Madrid. Robo has been downgraded to the team's second choice left back. Mm-hmm. Now Kekes comes in. Kekes is poor. He's making mistakes and has to be hooked off in halftime of games against Burnley and all of that. The right back is not good enough, and so the coach sometimes has to trust the team's central midfielder in Soboslai there. Those are two adjustments that the manager has to think of. Before he finds a solution to that, the dynamic in the midfield has been thrown out of the window because he now has to accommodate a 113 or 100 million pound signing.
Must you add that figure?
And 007. You see, the thing with Florian Wirtz, this will go laugh them. The Liverpool fans will go laugh them because, you see, when Paul Pogba came to Manchester United,
yes,
Graham Souness told us that there was a game Paul Pogba recorded 4 assists. Graham Souness said for an 89 million pound signing, that is the minimum we expect, and that is the standard. Wirtz, the Toyota Wirtz, is a fine player. You see, eventually he will spark. Yeah, eventually they will spark. Eventually, so the car will move. It will move out of the garage. But for now, he's firing blanks. He's firing blanks, not because he's a bad player, but because now the expectation is that he has to be, and you see, I don't care about people who say he's not responsible for his price tag. When you are signed for that figure, The assumption is that you provide a certain guarantee on returns, a certain return on investment. The reason the club will hold out, the selling club will hold out for that kind of money is because they believe that you are a rare breed on the market.
And they have also invested in you for you to get
It's not even just about the investment, but they believe that they are losing quality that is rare to find on the market.
That's true.
The team that is paying also agrees that we are making this investment because the player coming in is not someone who should be recording 007. He is a match winner.
Yes.
So I have every confidence in Florian Wirtz that he is going to come good. I think they are going to find the right tactical fit for him. He is going to excel. He has too much quality to flop. But for the first 2 months of his career, he has been an unmitigated disaster.
But now I want me to ask you some Chelsea biased question. But I'll ask that question after I can. You know, you'll be Chelsea fan. Is that if I ask you some questions?
What's that?
Ask me. He said there are conversations about the fact that Caicedo is the best midfielder in the world.
I think it is not out of place.
It's not out of place, eh? But every reason.
Name me who is better.
I'm coming. I'll come back to you.
Okay.
Okay, a new sports levy. This is a message. It says that the problem has never been streams of income, but how funds are utilized. It says so far, government has not given any account of what is existing to demand for more. He goes on to say that also, my money can't go into football, especially or specifically GPL, because but those folks has made it clear that they do what they want with the game, and it is none of my business. He said else, they must be ready to account in detail how every peso of my tax was spent in their private enterprise. But you've forgotten that government has facilitated about 18 million Ghana cedis for Ghana Premier League class. Senior, maybe they want to find a way of recouping that money. Good evening, Muftawa. I am Inusa from Techiman. In fact, we call the food you described earlier by name, meet me under. Aha! Oh, yeah, you are right. Meet me under. That rice, plain rice, that you will put the soup on top. Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, you know the thing. Meet me under.
Back in high secondary school, they used to call it rice and gas.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Ours was meet me under. He got that name right. He said, guys used to enjoy it, Papa. But regards to Achi, tell him I would like to meet him one day. I love his write-offs. So powerful. Yeah. You see those things we write there?
Yeah.
You see how
you should check out the one I did today on the referee Rita Boateng in Kansai. Yeah. Excellent lady, shining the light on referees in Ghana.
Okay. My greetings to Achi, the fine gentleman. Please ask Kari if he has been watching all Ghanaian players support at their various clubs before he comes out. Yeah,
he does.
Clearly,
Karim does.
No, we don't. So this is it. You cannot just get up and begin to put together numbers without following. So what we do, in fact, a chunk of the members of this desk, what we do is so that at least, you are able to follow as many talents as possible. We have something on our website where we used to call it the Ghanaian Player Support. In fact, Ghana Soccer Net started many years ago. If you don't watch, you can't write the story.
Yeah.
That's clearly what it is. So sometimes, we spend the whole weekend scanning across platforms, just looking for what. And sometimes, if you know where the player already plays, it becomes very easy because you know the team, you know the opponent. You can go and watch the game and you stream. That is basically what we do. And when there are track and field events too, we know that Ghanaian athletes are running or jumping or doing what at what time, and we follow. That's basically what we do before we come. So that's what Karim does. Yeah. He wouldn't be here if he doesn't. That's why he's able to tell you this player played this number of minutes, he made this number of tackles. Sometimes it's not about just going online to compile those figures. You actually watch. This one says, Harry from Tama. He says, Barcelona should get ready because Chelsea will destroy their team. And also, I'm happy for Estevao Willian for scoring against Liverpool. And then this one says, good evening, gentlemen. The Black Stars qualifying to the World Cup is a must because the players know what is at stake. But Otto can't lead the team to the World Cup because it will be a disaster. Chelsea really showed momentum against Liverpool and kept knocking on door till that late finish by Estevao to win the game for us. And he said to win the game for us. For you and who? You know, one of the beautiful things about football is that no matter where you find yourself, it is easy to associate yourself and be an owner of it.
Yeah.
For us, Chelsea is for us. That's what he said. He won the game for us. That's a very good one. He goes on to say that he said to win the game for us, and after went to church to thank God, but a certain boy will be following things older than him. And now, hey, why are you shading Barcelona players? Why are you like that? This is a good evening, Sports Zone. Good luck to the Black Stars and Ghana on Wednesday. We are behind the team. I'm happy things are getting well for Chelsea FC and House of Greetings to all Chelsea fans in China. This is Castle Steve from China in the Upper East. Good evening, guys. Do Black Stars coach really watch our league? Or is there any special criteria one must follow before being called up? He said that from my own perspective, I see Albert Amoa, can be a perfect center forward for the national team. And upon his form this season, a local guy who knows our pitches very well, and he's scoring too. Yet he wasn't called up by the coach. And he will keep converting wingers to play at 9, whilst we have a proper prospect here. Well, in fact, Karim Zito also backed the inclusion of Amoa into the team. Maybe he needs to keep on working.
My question to him and Zito and the proponents of this Albert Amoa case is, look at the centre forwards Otoado United.
Who does he displace? Who does he displace? That's an obvious question that we need to answer. If you are able to answer that question, then probably you have a point. Now let's come back and talk about Moise Caicedo. If I don't do it, next time Bernard will say I shouldn't sit here. So,
but look, I think he's a fine player. I think it was poetic justice that he scored that goal against Liverpool. Since he made that move, especially in his first year, a lot of people, especially the Liverpool fans, had reason to take digs at him. Because, you know, he could have been a Liverpool player.
Yeah.
Brighton accepted the offer. He chose Liverpool.
He chose Chelsea. He chose Chelsea over Liverpool.
Over Liverpool. So, but gradually, he has not only settled, he has not only become one of the best in the Chelsea team at the moment. It will be difficult for you to name a better holding midfielder in the Premier League than him. There's nobody better. There's nobody better.
Rodri
hasn't played for about a year.
Yeah.
So
at the moment, as it stands now, Caicedo is the best midfielder in the Premier League.
Best holding midfielder. Because whatever you're going to say about Rodri is based on 2023, 2024. Yeah? Because since 2024, he's not even played 10 Premier League games.
Due to the injuries that he had.
So that's the thing about him. And for me, I'm very happy for him because, look, he came in for a lot of money. And unfortunately for him, in the role that he plays, he will never be able to compensate for the amounts that he came in for. Because my belief is that if a club pays north of 80 million for you, you have to be a match winner. You have to be a difference maker in the final third of the pitch. So when you're paying 110, I don't always agree when it is going for a holding midfielder or someone who doesn't have the license.
But that wouldn't also be too fair on others, defenders who are extremely good, goalkeepers who are extremely good.
No, I get it. I'm just saying that the way I see football, if you're not a match winner, if you're not a difference maker in that regard, clubs should not be paying that kind of money for you, right? But this is as good as it gets from him. And that's why I said I was particularly happy because on Saturday evening, it wasn't just about the fact that he was brilliant. It was about the fact that he was a match winner on the day. He scored that fine goal for Chelsea. And it's something that he has in his look. I think this is about the second long-range effort he scored for Chelsea since joining.
In fact, just this season alone. Let's take a look at the results of matches that were played in the Premier League this weekend. And Bournemouth, they won 2-0 against Fulham. Arsenal won 2-0 in their game as well. And they won 2-0 against West Ham United. Man United won 2-0 against Sunderland. Leeds United were at home, and they lost their fixture to Tottenham Hotspur. Chelsea won 2-1 against Liverpool. Aston Villa won 2-1 against Burnley. Everton won 2-1 against Crystal Palace. And Newcastle United won 2-0 against Nottingham Forest. Wolves, they drew their game 1-1. And then Manchester City, they caught Brentford.
Look,
and gave them 1-1.
If there is one man who's going to be sacked before Ruben Amorim, it is likely to be Ange Postecoglou.
Oh, they will fire him. Came and took over the Nottingham Forest, and that clearly shows that the decision to sack Nuno Espirito was a bad one.
Oh yeah, it was.
If it were in the village, they would have told us that the gods of the village are behind him.
They made 2 mistakes in one go. The decision to fire him was one. The decision to replace him with Ange Postecoglou was another
bad one. This is how the Premier League table looks like. Arsenal, they sit at a summit with 16 points. Liverpool, after losing to Chelsea, are now second with 15. Tottenham Hotspur have got 14. Bournemouth has got 14 as well. Manchester City, 13. Crystal Palace, they are sixth with 12 points. Chelsea are seventh with 11. And Everton, 8th with 11, Sunderland 11, and then Man United at 10th. Man United, they are doing well. They are not 18th or 17th. Newcastle United have got 9 points, Brighton have got 9, Aston Villa have got 9, Fulham 8, Leeds 8, Brentford 7, Nottingham Forest 5, Burnley 4, West Ham 4, Wolves 2. These are the relegation
candidates.
Let me take you to Spain and bring you highlights of how Sevilla walloped Barcelona and Villarreal against Real Madrid.
It's his second league goal for the Andalusians, making no mistake, sending Szczesny the wrong way. Koundé dispossessed. It's not been a good game from Jules Koundé. And here is Vargas. The flag stays down. Ruben Vargas.
Talk to me about this game. Barcelona, the quarter water like that.
It is Aswadin.
How?
It's a stubbornness.
Back to feast for them.
Yeah. And for me, it's the manner in which they have conceded the goals that they have, not necessarily the defeats.
Is it a high line?
Yes. There are aspects in the game. Yeah. When we talk about in-game management, it is often because we expect of coaches that when you see a certain trend developing, yeah, and your team is susceptible to it, don't gamble. Don't leave it to chance. You react and respond appropriately and immediately. If you delay it at this level, you'll be punished for it. Before that first goal, Sevilla had tried that maneuver twice. Romero got caught offside on both occasions. The third time he scored. PSG, the same. I was watching a clip on Twitter earlier today, and someone made a compilation of all of the goals that Barca have conceded in that manner. And what strikers these days tend to do is that they start from an offside position, yeah? When the build-up begins, because the defenders will not pay attention to you once they realize you are offside. And Van Nistelrooy used to do this a lot. For teams that play with a high line, the striker starts from an offside position. When the
Filippo Inzaghi was saying.
Yes. When the build-up begins, at the point where the final pass is being played, he drops in, but it's still offside. But because that pass goes wide and not towards him, he's offside, but it doesn't count. He's not interfering. He's not involved in He's not active at the time.
He's not actively involved.
So the player who received the ball is the wide player. He is onside, makes the run. Now the defenders have to play catch-up because the wide player or the wide receiver has tagged infield and is already ahead of them anyway. They are behind play. But the striker who was offside is no longer offside. Because then there is the wide player with the ball ahead of him.
And he's not in an onside.
And so a simple cutback, tap in. Sevilla did it 5 times in this game. They scored 2 goals out of it. The second and third goals came as a result of that. In midweek, that is what PSG also profited from it. The other issue, apart from his unwillingness to drop the line, is that he is insisting on it at points in the game where the momentum is with the opponent and when his team has proven incapable of responding to that.
So in other words, you want to say not a tease like Amorim.
That's why I said it is Aswadi. Because in the PSG game, how are you holding a high line in the 93rd minute when your team has had 36% of ball possession and has been chasing the whole game and is tired?
And on that note, we wrap up Sports Zone here tonight with me, Muftau and Nabila Abla. Show proudly brought to you by Guinness Yes We Can, and they made it possible for us to bring you Guinness Match Day, this very segment. The Game Energy drink, feel the energy. Piva Natural Mineral Water, refreshing and revitalizing, and Kivo 4-in-1 Gary soaking mix. They all came together to ensure that we bring you Sports Zone tonight and every other Monday night here on Joy Prime. Enjoy the rest of our programs. We appreciate your company.